Hello again everyone, this is MarcBrightside and welcome back to A Bug's Life on the N64. It's been quite some time since I last uploaded a video on this game. I think it's actually coming up for around a month and a half, 2 months, but I'm hoping to get back on track with this one and maybe, just maybe, we'll actually have this game finished before Christmas. So anyway, like I said last time around, this level actually... they reuse a lot of aspects from the previous stage that we looked at. Both of the city levels are very, very similar in terms of stage design. I mean, look, these are the same cardboard boxes, these are the same tin cans, same enemy set. Oh wait, no, we have one new enemy, and they are these anthropomorphic cockroaches with boxing gloves that don't do anything aside from slowly trundle backwards and forwards. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Hello, Mr. Ant.
Fuck you, Dim. I was gonna say big for a second, I was thinking Sonic Adventure. Anyway, so as you might have gleaned from the title screen, the objective of this level is to hunt down, well, I was going to say the 5 circus performers. They're actually they're grouped into 4. So we're looking for Tuck and Roll, we're looking for Dim, we're looking for Rosie, and then they've lumped Manny and the other one. the butterfly, you know what I mean. They've lumped those 2 in together. And they're always going to be in the same place, so there's not really much worry of that. I fucking hate getting on top of these platforms, by the way. Any of the ones that are slanted are just... they're the devil. But... my issue with this level stems from just the sheer size of it, and you will never understand how massive this level is until you've played through it as many times as I have. This level is enormous, and it doesn't feel as big as it is because the draw distance is really poor, so there's just this sort of black fog in the distance. And everything looks the same. I mean, you know, one cardboard box, it might be a slightly different height, but at the end of the day, it's still a fucking cardboard box, so it's really difficult to get your bearings around here. And in fact, the areas that are most recognizable are actually like the area I just passed, where it's just a wide expanse with no objects or no platforms surrounding it. Those are the areas that stick out the most, and they're the ones you're going to be using as landmarks here. But I don't know, something about this level rubs me the wrong way. It's not nearly as bad as the previous one, it's much less annoying and much less frustrating. I say that as I get pinned in the corner by a spider, but you know what I mean. If you have memorized where all 4 of your targets are, then you can get to them very easily. I mean, Tuck and Roll are right near the start. I just forgot when I was recording this level. But I don't understand why they felt the need to change up the formula at this stage, because if you think about it, every level up until this point has had just one clear objective. You know, you're reaching the goalpost, or you're reaching the end of the level, you're finding the bugs in the previous level. This one, it's a scavenger hunt. And that's a good point, actually. Why are we looking for the bugs again? We found them in the previous level. Why were they split up? I mean, the city levels are where the game starts to deviate from the film, because up until you get to the canyons, it follows the film pretty closely, all things considered. You know, there's some liabilities here and there. We didn't have, you know, thrusting worms in the movie, but still, whatever, you just go with it. But then you get to the city, and, well, even before that, I mean, we fight the bird before we even get to the city. And, you know, that, if we're going by the film, that shouldn't be happening until after we've already rescued the circus bugs, but whatever. And then we get here and it's like, oh hey, you found half the group, now go find the other half. By the way, they're not together, they're all scattered around for some reason. I don't get the thought process here. I don't see what they were going for with this level. And as you probably gleaned already from my tone and from the length of this video, yeah, this is a level that I'm not doing 100% of this time around, because when I was recording this one, I was really annoyed after doing the previous level, and I just didn't want to waste any more time here. I just wanted to get through it as quickly as possible. I actually could have done it much quicker. But I figured I'd at least get one of the 3 tokens, so I went for Grain, because Grain is easiest to get.
Super jump.
Yeah, that's a point. You can actually get Super Jump in this level, but I don't really know why, because I don't think you need Super Jump to get anything. Maybe you need it for some of the flick letters. The flick letters are in really dickish locations in this level. But anyway, I've already shown off where the blue tokens are, so if you want super jump, then you may as well get it. I mean, there's no reason not to have it. It makes platforming easier, it makes, well, everything easier, to be honest, so that's a thing. Oh, shut up. I hate how he keeps commenting on that. Like, anytime there's a level with an unusual power-up, he will just bring it up constantly, and it's like, yeah, I get it, okay? You don't need it. You really don't, Flick. But I suppose at this point, seeing as this level's really just... There's not a lot to work with here, I mean... It's a protracted scavenger hunt, and there's really not much more to it than that. So instead, I'm going to give you a sneak preview as to what's happening with the next part. The next level in the game is kind of long. It's one of my favourite levels in the game, but it's still kind of long. It's a really big level. So what I'm actually planning on doing, and plans may change, so if you're looking at this playlist in a year's time and I'm not following my word, then go fuck yourself. I have the right to do that. I'm actually going to be including some footage of the Game Boy Color version of this game, because this game did actually come out on Game Boy, and I never knew this until very recently. I've actually played through the whole game and got it recorded. It's not very long. But somehow the Game Boy game is much, much worse than this.
Oh, hello! So nice to meet you.
In basically every way. the Game Boy game really doesn't do anything right. It's quite terrible. So, yeah, that's a fun one to show off. I also recently got a PlayStation 1 emulator working reasonably well on my computer. Well, I say reasonably well, it actually works flawlessly now. Because I've tried getting stuff like that to work before. I tried 2 different PlayStation 1 emulators, and neither of them worked very well. One of them was horribly laggy, and one of them had about a 50% chance of crashing anytime I did basically anything, so that didn't work out too great. But someone whose name I don't remember posted a very well-written guide online, and I was able to actually get one working. So, I can also show off some footage of the PS1 version of this game, which is basically identical in most ways. The graphics are significantly worse, and they butchered some of the music oddly. Also, actually, I think some of the enemies look a bit different as well. So, not sure what's going on with that one. I'll have to check into it and see if there's anything worth showing. I don't believe there is. I think it has a better frame rate than this, which is nice. But this is the version I grew up with, so I'm not going to jump ship at this point. But aside from that, just worse looking textures and polygons and stuff. So I'll look into that at some point. But on the subject of PS1 emulators, tenuous link there, there's another game that I would quite like to LP at some point, but I want to get this fucking game over and done with. I kind of regret starting this one now, but oh well. But yeah, look forward to that. I'm not gonna spoil what that one is, because it's relatively, and by relatively I actually mean very obscure game that I happened to have as a child. I didn't have many PlayStation 1 games as a kid. It was the console that just kind of got ignored for me. I had like 4 or 5 games, and this was one of them. Not Bugs Life, the mystery game that I'm talking about at the moment. You see what I mean about this level being kind of big now? It might be a little bit terrible if you have a poor sense of direction, or if you're recording this game at 4 o'clock in the morning after you've had a few drinks. Hint, hint. Yeah. Got nothing. This game sucks, this level sucks. I'm trying to be nice about it because I don't want to just be complaining all the way through the LP, but goddamn, I was very, very tempted to fast forward through this level. Oh, Christ. Anyway, it's almost over now. We just gotta yoink ourselves around here. Like I said, tuck and roll are pretty near the beginning. All you have to do is find this helicopter seed, get up on here, and they're near the harvester, so yeah, that's the thing. I'm actually a bit disappointed, as you heard earlier when you talked to Dim and Rosie, they play little voice clips. They might be voiced by the same person from the film, I'm not sure. Sadly, no tuck and roll gibberish. It's a shame, I always liked Tuck and Roll as a kid. They were my favourite out of the circus bugs, them and Francis. Right, so moving on, thank God. We're actually going into another boss fight now. We have to fight Thud, and this is really, compared to every other boss in the game, this one is noticeably more difficult. I actually had another take of this level that I just scrapped because it was taking too long and I was taking too many hits and it was terrible. So you're in this can, and there's shit flying everywhere. There's just assorted junk rolling around in the can with you. And your objective is, you need to either get the blueberry that I just grabbed right now, or the gold berry at the other end of the can, and just chase down Thud. And he will only very rarely attack you. He occasionally throws out a blueberry as a projectile. It's not really that difficult to avoid. The problem comes, again, if you're going for all the tokens, which I am doing for every boss. God damn, getting the goldberry with this guy's annoying. Because the goldberry pickup itself is just at the other side of the can, you saw. There's no problems with picking that up. But the issue is, as soon as you have the goldberry, he gets a new attack. He actually starts throwing out blueberry pickups in addition to the actual berries themselves. And the problem with this is that if he hits you with a blueberry pickup, you lose the goldberry, and you cannot regain it. Like, the goldberry pickup doesn't come back. Yeah, see, you just hit me with a blueberry, so now I'm fucked. And even if you die, the goldberry pickup doesn't come back, so you just, if he hits you, if he forces the blueberry onto you after you've already picked up the goldberry, then tough shit, exit the level and re-enter it. you ain't getting the three tokens. That, and it's really difficult to actually tell where these objects rolling around are in relation to you, because nothing has a like, they have shadows, but they're barely visible against the rest of the can. And the camera keeps getting snagged on stuff. Oh, and there's another fucking problem. So he drops grain when you hit him. Okay, he drops like a circle of grain. Problem, the grain disappears after a short amount of time. So if you don't pick up the grain quickly enough, then tough shit. Exit the level and come back. Again, dying doesn't reset these things. Dying, there's no option to just restart the level. And dying doesn't reset grain, it doesn't reset berry pickups or anything like that, so yeah, if you fuck up, you're gonna have to exit, you're gonna have to wait through that painfully long loading screen I showed off in part 1, and it's just a bit awful. Actually, I tend to have a bad time with this boss even if I'm not going for the tokens as well, because like I said, it's kind of difficult to avoid getting hit, and I'm not a patient person at the best of times, so I tend to try and, like, when I'm playing video games, I tend to try and get through things as quickly as possible. If you do that here, you will get hit. And I'm not a fan of this one. I mean, if they intended it to be hard, then yeah, I guess they succeeded, but it's not especially fun. Especially coming after the bird, which is my favourite boss fight in the game, because I think the bird is actually an interesting concept of what they do with it. This one, though, nah, sorry, Thud. Also, when I played this game as a child, for a long time I didn't actually have a memory pack, so I couldn't save my progress, and this boss would 9 times out of 10 be the end of me. It was a bit sad. Anyway, we're finally out of the city now, so join me next time for Clover Forest, hopefully sometime before Christmas.